welcome to today's show. And I have driven, I think it feels like 900 kilometers, but it might be a little bit less, to come and visit Gin & Co., a new gin tasting room and distillery in White River. And with me today is Tanya Cruse. Welcome to the show, Tanya.
Thanks, Holger. I hope it was worth your travel.
Oh, it's been a delight. And you've organised amazing accommodation here in Casterbridge. And I think I've met everybody that... I've met so many people in the last couple of days. It's been amazing. And I've obviously also managed to visit a few other distilleries, so that was a bonus. But the most important thing is to see what you've done at Gin & Co. It's exciting. Tell us how it all started. I mean,
Sure.
You started with a caravan.
Yeah, that's right. So I started about 5 years ago.
5 years ago?
5 years ago now.
Okay.
And it was really just a hobby initially.
Yeah.
And then it became a passion, and then it became an addiction. So.
An addiction. And we first met when, I think was it the Mpumalanga tourism people took you to the Durban Indaba?
That's right. Yeah.
You and Frank
Me and
from
Frank.
Roaches.
Yes, that's right.
When was that?
It was 2 years ago.
Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And I was very grateful because you popped in at my house and we might have had a gin together. I can't remember that part.
We had something.
But we had something, yeah. And that's when we met.
Yeah.
So that was so you'd been going for 3 years by then.
Yeah.
These things just take so long, eh?
It really does. It just, I think you know how long it takes. I don't know if you'll ever jump into the pit, but once you're there, I think it's rewarding.
It is rewarding, yeah. And now you've ended up with 2 businesses.
Yeah.
Shame, poor Frank.
Yeah.
Our friend Frank passed away. Was it in December last year?
Yeah.
And now Tanya has bought that business, the Old Rocher Winery, and somehow you're going to try and incorporate it into Gin & Co. Sorry.
Yes, yeah. So the plan is to still be able to manufacture it as it was made in the traditional way. So we will house it at Gin & Co. So we're busy with that whole move and transition at the moment.
Yeah, I've already asked my wife the last time I was here, which must have been also about 2 years ago. We did a little video with Frank, and it's one of the old mobile phones, and where he tells the story of the whole Richard's wine story. So I hope I can still find that and we can put that up on social media.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah. Maybe he even had the recipes now. Yeah, so from when you started Dolly, it was in a caravan, I assume, for events.
It was an events caravan which was made to be versatile. But one of the first events I did was serving gin and tonics at a cricket match.
So it had nothing to do with gin?
It had nothing to do with gin.
Oh.
No. The caravan's name was Dolly, and Dolly used to travel around and serve whatever, but mostly the requests were for gin. So, so then Dolly Gin was born.
Okay.
And that's how we started to grow and get more requests and more demand. And I then approached Frank to operate with him at Rocher Wineries, and that's how we met.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did Frank help you to develop a gin?
Yes, he did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then you just did events for a long time? Or?
For a long time, it was just the event side of it and marketing. So, like a lot of it was weddings and corporate events, markets, little farmers markets. And it just slowly, steadily grew. And back in the day, I think there weren't really the coloured varieties of gin available, and so it was a new thing for the low faults. They were used to like just drinking a clear gin, but luckily we were able to change the colour of gin
in the low fault.
In the low faults,
because you have got beautiful bottles. I mean, those bottles. Who came up with the design?
So the design was really to fit in with Dolly Caravan.
Okay.
So they were made to be a bit vintagey and designed to be a bit more classic. So and to fit in with Dolly. So Dolly was very neutral colours, and the labels just made Dolly pop. So yeah.
Okay, and did you have any background in this industry? In the catering or
No,
events?
not
Nothing?
until well, marketing, but not so much catering.
Okay,
Yeah. So yeah, it was a few years of learning
yeah.
and a lot of time the hard way. Yeah, and still, I think there's still a lot to learn. So it's exciting times ahead.
So tell us a little bit about Gin & Co. What are your plans there, or what have you already done?
So yeah, basically once Frank passed away, I had to sort of keep the ball rolling and keep the brand out there. So that's how Gin & Co was born. I had to start off literally from scratch, and so the vision behind it was that we'd be able to produce not only Dolly Gin but other brands eventually, and offer people the opportunity to come and taste other brands of gin, educate consumers, host tastings, host private events, and just to support the craft industry mostly.
Okay. And the reception for your gin, first of all, in the Slowveld?
Yeah, the support's been amazing, I must say. People are very loyal, and it's been, I wouldn't have got this far without the support.
And now that you've opened the Gin & Co?
Yeah, I must say, sure, it's been overwhelming.
Has it?
Yeah.
And you open mainly during the day?
Yeah, so we open 7 days a week, mostly during the day, and then open in the evenings for private events and functions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's talk a little bit about the centre here, because it is a unique centre.
It really is, and I think we're so lucky to have something like this in our area. There's a lot of artisanal people that have stores here. It's very boutique-y, not mainstream at all, so it does attract a certain clientele, which is exactly where we want to be. So for us it's the right fit. And we also have a lot of visitors that pass through because it's en route to the Kruger and the scenic touristic venues around this area. So we're very fortunate with where we're located, and I think the centre's a great value add for the town and the province as a whole.
Yeah, and I think White River is on the up. It's a booming town, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the best schools in the country. It's based in White River, and I think that attracts a lot of people, especially from the cities. They commute, they end up having families that live here, and then they commute during the week. So it's a good lifestyle option for a lot of people.
Okay. So it certainly feels nice, and it looks beautiful here. How far are you from the Kruger here?
The closest gate is Nimby Gate, which is about half an hour's drive. So it's really very, very accessible.
Very accessible, yeah. Okay. And how's the response been from the locals with the opening of the tap room or the tasting room?
It's been great.
Have you got regulars already?
I think the regulars would have liked it to have been a gin bar as such.
Yes.
So we've had a lot of requests for gin bars, but yeah, we don't want to be in that league. Unfortunately, we just want to keep it as tasting room at this stage. So yeah, it's definitely the weekend spot for locals to come through during the day, and yeah.
Because you've got a young family, and that's priority.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's it's hard work as it is.
As it is, yeah.
Running the show, so you need to, I think, have a balance. So still trying to figure that all out, but we will get there.
Yeah, and then you've also bought a distillery. There's some massive tanks in there. What is it, and when are you going to be able to start using those?
So our stall's arriving at the end of November, and hopefully beginning of Jan we'll be able to start producing, and then we'll be in full production. So some really exciting plans ahead, and we plan to be able to ferment and to then distill our own alcohol on site. So it's a big challenge.
You want to do the whole thing?
Yes, absolutely. We're so remote as it is, so it just will make life easier, if nothing else, to be able to do it from scratch.
Yeah. Well, we now visited Morba Distillery in Malalan. They said they're so remote, they even got a laser cutter to make their own boxes.
Yeah, completely.
They've got their own printers, they print their own labels, they print the labels for their boxes. It's just another level.
Absolutely, yeah. Wow.
Okay, and where can people taste your gin now? Have you got it in a few outlets?
We're still very much just White River, Nelspruit. It's Delstrom, Hazy View areas. And we plan on expanding once we have production up. So at this stage, mostly just our locals, in our local stores and restaurants.
Yeah. Can we talk a little bit about Frank's Rocha wines? So tell us a little bit about that product.
Traditionally it was orange wine back in the day in 1959 when it was established. 60 years ago.
Sure.
And it was a German settler that came to the area, and he was tasked with making wine for the community church. He was a missionary, and when he got here, he realized there weren't any grapes, so he started making this orange wine. And that was the beginning of it. So the business was sold, I think, in 1984 to another couple from White River, who then continued with it, and then their interests got diversed. So they sold to Frank, and he had it for quite a number of years, and he developed a few of his own brands within the Rocha Wineries umbrella. And he changed the recipe slightly and adapted it over time. So, and he passed away in December, so everything came to a standstill, and so lucky enough to be able to buy the business from the States recently, and very big shoes to fill, because unfortunately can't seem to trace any recipes, but luckily the previous owners are still about and seem to recall one or two things. So it's going to be a bit of a process, but we'll get there. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. And the products as they are now, I mean, it's like what do you call it? It's like a port wine nearly.
Yeah, it's like a dessert wine.
Yeah.
But it's also really good if you want to drink it as a spritzer, like with soda, or even with tonic. It's really refreshing with tonic as well.
So those will all be available at Gin & Co. in the future?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And then the whole Slowveld thing, Frank made a Slowveld gin. Is that something that's...
Yeah, so what he did was he took the alcohol out of his wines and made this Slowveld gin, which was then citrus-based gin.
Okay.
And he had 3 different flavors. He had strawberry and black pepper, the plain citrus, and then the wooded gin. At that stage, he was the first wooded gin in the world, which that one is my favorite. Yeah, it's very smooth, and I think it's proudly Slowveld.
Yeah.
So we'd definitely like to keep that brand going as well.
Yeah. So Slowveld has become kind of a brand, and
absolutely, yeah.
In this area, obviously with the Lowveld and everybody being not as much in a rush as in Joburg.
I like the way you put that.
So what is that all about? I mean, people have been starting to make T-shirts and everything, so it's more than just a gin.
Absolutely, yeah. So Slowveld has become a brand, and they've areas printed shirts. There's a whole marketing campaign around it and websites, and it's become like a culture, the Slowveld culture.
So can I quickly whisper in your ear, maybe you should get a Slowveld beer as well?
Are you interested in making some beer here?
No, I think you get one of the local brewers to make it for you.
Yeah, that's worth looking into.
Yeah, and then you can serve it in your bar, in your tasting room. Yeah, I'm also one of those that likes the gin bar concept.
Yes.
But you obviously need somebody to run it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Our local gin bar in Belita, in season, poor Alex works till 3 o'clock in the morning. But it's the busiest bar in the whole centre.
Sure.
Yeah. So that sounds very exciting, and I think I want to encourage people to come and visit you if they're in the area. Come and do a gin tasting, and Tanya also supports the other distillers in the area. We've just got some rum from...
Absolutely, Moba rum. I'm so excited about that. So we're going to learn all about rum and how to do the perfect rum tasting soon. So
because Moba rum is different to normal rum. It's not made from molasses. It's made from the local sugarcane juice on his farm. And it's not something that South Africans have embraced. But the French have. So everything that he makes goes to France. We can't let the French have it all.
No, we need to keep a little bit for ourselves.
Yeah, and so that's available here. You've got some of the other local gins.
Yeah.
So that's what I like about the craft industry, embracing other people,
Absolutely.
embracing
It's
the
important,
other producers, yeah. And maybe one day you could have a gin fest here with all the other guys.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, because it is such a nice destination.
No,
People,
it really is.
People like, I mean, I nearly said the whole of Limpopo, but my trip to Limpopo was just as exciting. It's so beautiful,
Yeah.
this whole region. Yeah. Okay, Tanya, thanks for hosting us here and for having us.
It was really nice spending time with you, and thank you for all the inspiration. And
Yeah, and we hope we can keep. And if listeners, if you see some good ideas, yeah, get in touch with us or with Tanya, and yeah, reach out. Where can people find you?
so we have a website just called gincompany.co.za,
Okay.
or otherwise on Facebook, Gin & Co.
And Tanya is too busy to be on Facebook, but she'll respond somewhere.
How do you try?
Yeah. Thanks,
Yeah,
Tanya.
thanks
Thanks
so
for
much, Olga.
listening. And to all the listeners, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks so much.
Cheers.
Cheers.